Sha Tin Sunday, welcome to the Race by Race preview. Paul Lally here for the Bank of China race day. The big names are all in, and racing gets underway at 12:45, with the first being a Class 4 over the 1200 metres. One-man show. Hood off, crossover noseband goes on. Tearfly wears blinkers for the first time. All's Well is minus the cheek pieces. Adorable Smile and Mo Ergo Sum are both on debut, as is Mabubu, Made for Life and Precision Hope. Groovy Feeling has the blinkers off and the cheek pieces reapplied. Paul, and a stack of first starters here. Have any got the pace to go forward?
Yeah, look, Mabubu was a little bit slow away at his last trial, but prior to that, he did lead in his trials. Made for Fun's been going forward in his trials as well. So I think that both those two will be prominent, but I think co-partner Fleet can come across and get to the lead. California Bay led in a recent trial. All's Well should get his opportunity. Jubilace Raw, there was a stack of money for him last time, and Mo Ergo Sum, he's showing no speed, so he'll go back, I think.
We start with 2 runs ago for All's Well, because it was at Sha Tin. He's since been around at the Valley. Ran third behind what was an informed horse in this race, in Jubilant Winner, who made it back-to-back victories. Good draw, barrier number 3. Hugh Bowman on board for Dennis Ship.
Yeah, I think coming back to Sha Tin's the key for him, because he showed sort of a level of consistency here with the win and then this third as well, before sort of failing a little bit when he did go to Happy Valley. So coming back here from barrier 3, cheek pieces will come off. I think he'll get his opportunity once again in this race.
That's our first replay. The second one is California Bay. This was by far his best performance in a short career so far. This was start number 8. He ran third behind King Oberon, 1200 metres, and this was at Happy Valley. A lot of his racing at Sha Tin has been over further.
Yeah, look, he's had a couple of runs at Happy Valley, and look, coming back here to Sha Tin, he's by done deal. So just on breeding alone, you'd think he'd want a little bit further. You can see him finishing off strongly enough. He has shown a bit of form, but I prefer him over a bit longer at this stage.
First starter Made for Life. Mark Newnham can get one up rolling at their debut, as we saw with Everluck a few weeks ago. Here he is outside the leader, and he gets away pretty nicely to win this trial. Brenton Avdella on board this morning. He'll ride on Sunday. He's had a total of 3 trials.
He has, and look, he's going to put himself in the right position from barrier number 4. He's by Parada, this horse. You can see him really stretching out late in the trial. So, look, he's definitely got some ability. And from that low draw, he's going to get his chance as well. So, look, I'll give him a bit of a chance in this.
That is Made for Life. Now here is another trial. This is Jubilant Star, who we have seen twice on race day, but disappointing last time, and that was from barrier number 5. He was 4.6. He was held up at the top of the straight. Better on debut, and this is the trial since. Draws 13 though.
Yeah, that's just a little problem with him. I think he'll get back in the running. But look, I didn't mind this trial. He was just coasting to the line. He wasn't asked to do anything whatsoever. Look, I'm going to put that second start up to the second up syndrome, and we'll give him another chance, because he did look really good on debut, this horse. So he has had a couple of runs under his belt now.
That is a couple of trials to finish the replays. Are you going to forgive him enough to put him on top?
Yeah, I will. I'll put him on top. James McDonald will jump aboard. So I think Jubilant Star goes on top. Made for Life, we saw that trial. He goes in for second. All's Well. Another horse who's been blinkers on for the first time. Second start in Class 4 is Tearfly. I think he's getting down to a rating where he can perform as well. 6-11-4-3.
That is the preview for race number 1, all on the turf on Sunday, and the rail is in the B+2 position. Preview time for race number 2, Sha Tin Sunday. Again, a Class 4 race, but this one is over 1,400 metres. Thousand Spirit is on the class drop at the top. Right day last start, winner extra £7. Cheval Victorious has the crossover noseband going back on. First starters the 5 and the 6. Absolute Honour minus the blinkers. Fit for Beauty wears a hood. Rainbow 7 has blinkers first time. Flash Star is up in trip, and Super Sicario is coming back from the 1,800 metres on the all-weather last time to the turf 1,400 metres. Paul, and the class droppers in front.
Yeah, look, I think Thousand Spirit can get to the front from barrier number 6, especially with that drop in class. We know Frantank likes to go forward. He's a front runner. Fit for Beauty's drawn nicely in barrier 3. He can get into the box seat with Flash Star. Cheval Victorious in there as well, with a Lucky Man back along the rail. Rainbow 7 from his wide draw should go back.
Straight to Nick for an interview ahead of race number 2. It's Jimmy Orman and Bright Day.
Jimmy Orman, bright day. Is a horse who just took a little bit of time, didn't he? But got the win last time when going back up to 7 furlongs, and I thought he did it quite well.
He did it great, Nick. He was a great run. It's good to get a winner for Manfred Mann as well. Great stable, and yeah, he's gone up a little bit in weight, but I don't think it'll worry him too much. He's a nice big horse. He's been working well. And I thought he'd run well last start. His run prior over 1200 was good. He was just beaten for a little bit of speed, and the good barrier helped for his last win. So he got a nice run just off the speed, and took him a little while to get there, but he just kept building and building, and you know, I think the 1400 suited, and I think it'll suit again on the weekend.
I thought that was quite noticeable, actually, Jimmy, in the sense that, you know, he did just keep sort of whacking away. But were you always confident as his rider that you were going to get there?
Early in the straight, not really, but then as we progressed, I was confident I was going to get there. So he just took a little bit of time to build. He's a former Macau horse, and his form reminds me a little bit of a horse called Wonderstar. So, you know, they both got down to that similar sort of rating, and they've both won in Class 4. Wonderstar obviously has gone and won on in Class 3. So, yeah, I think he's probably as progressive as him.
It'd have to be a chance again, wouldn't he? I mean, as you say, it's one of those sort of open-looking races on what is a good card, a decent undercard as well. But off his mark now of 58, they've put him up to 6. You'd have to be confident he can do the same again, wouldn't you?
Yeah, out of the two divisions, he looks like he's in the better division, and like I said, I think he's at a good mark to win again, and I think definitely he's got the Class 4 ability. It's just a matter of getting the right run in the race.
And that is Jimmy Orman, Paul. This is Sonny Q and his replay. We've also got Cheval Victorious, who finished 5th in this race. It was a better run from him, but Sonny Q's had his last 2 starts, a win over 1200 metres, and then this second, a narrow second over the same distance. He goes up in trip.
Yeah, I think the 1400 is going to suit him the way he finishes off his races. You can see he got into the clear, and he just took a little while to wind up here. Golden Tronic Mighty is such a big horse, managed to get his nose in front of him, and he was really finishing off strongly here at the end of the race. So that extra 200 metres looks absolutely ideal, and he could be tough to beat in this.
That's a good report for him. We've got a trial for Lucky Man and also Fran Tank, and we know Fran Tank likes to race on the pace. Lucky Man ran second. He's been trialling well, but his best form is in Class 5, whereas Fran Tank's best form's about 2 seasons ago. He's done very little, either to kick off this season or the entire last season. Yeah,
exactly. So, look, I'm just going to watch Fran Tank because I don't really like the way he attacked the line here. But Lucky Man, look, he's getting down on the weights now. He's run third for 46 rating, which is similar to this. He's got barrier number 1. I'm going to put him in, but just on a very minor line. I'd prefer him in Class 5.
That is that trial. Are you with Sonny Q, though?
Yeah, he looks the one for me, Sonny Q, especially up to the 1400 metres, and he's on top. Now, I'm going to put one of the debutants in, Glorious St. Paul's. I don't think he's been really let go in his trials. He's drawn awkwardly in barrier 10, but I think he'll get his chance in this race. It's not overly strong. Fit for Beauty in there for 3rd out of the trail, and then Lucky Man. 9, 5, 8 and 11.
An early win on Sunday for Andrea at Zany and Chris So, with the informed Sonny Q for Paul to win again. Second division of the Class 4 1400 metres is race number 3, and this is the field. Do Your Parts placed 3 from 3 this season. Nez is on the class drop, cheek pieces off, blinkers first time. Nick's Gluck a wide draw again, but has won a trial since his last start. Smiling One's had 3 trials since we last saw him in July. Wider gate again for Decision Link. Second time 1400 for Amazing Fun. Big Stride, cheek pieces off, tongue tie off, blinkers go on, and Glaciated steps up from the 12 to the 1400 metres. He does have early pace, Glaciated, Paul, but World Hero has a touch more.
Yeah, look, from barrier 2 as well, World Hero. I think they'll try and dominate from the front. But as you say, Glaciated with that lightweight and barrier 3, he can be there. Do Your Parts, another front runner, he's going to get his chance. So he's going to be right on the pace as well. Raging Rapids, another one with a low draw. He's got barrier 1. He'll get his chance, Victory Champion. Back to Just Follow Me, Amazing Fun towards the back. Nez is coming back to Sha Tin. His better runs have been here.
We start with Do Your Part, who at the point of the turn here is up on the pace. He hangs on for 3rd, Flying Boom. This was his first start where he finished 7th. Matthew Poon rides him. He's very consistent, Do Your Part. but he just keeps finding one or two to beat him home. Is that going to be the case again here?
Well, I'm going to give him a chance to win in this race because of that consistency. I don't think he's an ungenuine horse because he's already won in the past. It's just a matter of, he has found one too better. And we just saw this replay in the previous race, and I think Sunny Q has a big chance in that, and he just beat Do Your Part home. So we'll give him another chance in this.
There's been some money for Glaciated recently, and here he is on the Your Weather last time. He was a bit further back here, but he's been handy enough in a recent trial. Steps up to 1,400 metres. Is a better draw than what he did this night. Barrier number 3, Sha Tin takes the ride.
Yeah, so look, I think he can get himself into a trailing position here, Glaciated, that will give him his opportunity from that low draw barrier 3. No weight on his back. Like, he's going to get his opportunity once again. He's only had the 7 starts. We've seen one placing and off those 7 starts, and he wasn't too far away here.
And one more to have a look at. Nick Sklucker's the horse. This is him in a recent trial. He ends up winning this trial. He was pushed out to do so. It's up at Chung Fa. James McDonald takes the ride. Barrier number 13. So Luck's deserted him with the gates, but he's also stepping up in trip.
Yeah, look, he improved a lot from start 1 to start 2 because he finished second last on debut. Then he ran 4th in his second start in that same race we've just seen, that Golden Tronic Mighty one. He's by Redwood, so you expect him to go a lot further in time. This is 1,400 metres, but he's definitely a horse on the improve.
But a deserved win it would be for number 1.
Yeah, look, he's just so consistent, this horse, and he's going to put himself in the right position once again. So we'll go with him on top. I thought Raging Rapids will get a really good run. He was a winner 4 starts back, a couple of good runs since. And from barrier number 1, he can just go to sleep. 3 back on the inside, Glaciated with the lightweight. And Decision Link, he's another one that's had limited starts. I think he'll go back and he'll be running on strongly as well. 1, 3, 14 and 9.
He's smashing the door down to win one Do Your Part, and Paul has him to win the first leg of the early treble. And race number 4 is the first of the 2 2,000-metre races on the program. This one is for the Class 3. Jumbo Legend and Stunning Peach both on the class drop. Noisy Boy has the pacifiers off. Gentleman Legacy cheek pieces first time. Romantic Thor has the crossover noseband back on. Snowfield wears cheek pieces. Ariel has the blinkers off and the cheek pieces going on. Enthralled, nothing in the report for a disappointing run last time. Grey Charger wears a hood and agenda. Covered ground over the 2,000 at Sha Tin at his last start. Paul, and Ariel loves a lead.
And he's up in trip too, so this should be right up his alley. 2,000 metres. Romantic Thor can go forward as well. Agenda, likewise. Noisy Boy's got a lot better draw. Prestige Good, another one up in trip. Gentleman Legacy, he should be able to settle midfield. I think Winning Wing will be a lot closer in the run here from barrier number 1. Then you've got Jumbo Legend. Stunning Peach will go back, but he's another one that finishes off strongly.
Here's Nick with Mark Noonan now talking about his 2 runners, Bravehearts and Snowfield.
Mark, you've got a couple of runners in the 2,000-metre race. Both look to be suited by the course and distance. Bravehearts and Snowfield for the same connections. We'll start with Bravehearts. These are his conditions, really, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. 2,000 Sha Tin. He's a get-back horse, so he's always reliant on pace. And he got in a fast-run race the other day, and the winner was too good for him. He had every chance. Matthew Poon gave him a good ride, but he'll meet that horse a little bit better at the weights this time, and he's trained on well.
Yeah, Winning Wing, of course, the horse that you allude to. He's gone up to 80. He's run some nice races off sort of similar marks. He's won off 76, so he's probably to some degree in the right place to go close again, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely, and he's once he gets to these type of races, he runs consistently well, but he is reliant on pace.
I mentioned you've also got the other run in the field as well, Snowfield. Where are we at with him? I mean, he's showing a bit, isn't he, this guy?
Yeah, look, I've always liked him. He had a couple of setbacks when he first arrived, had a wind operation, but that seems to have been successful. He's had to make 2 longer runs at his last 2 starts, but I thought his run against Bravehearts was very good. He sort of got exposed early from the 700, so he was always going to find the last part of the race challenging, but he stayed on well. So now he's had that to toughen him up. He's had last week's dirt race, and he's a good backup horse because he does well in the stable. So no, I'd expect him to run well.
That's Mark Newnham. Paul, only one more replay to see here, and it's a horse you're going to make a case for. Stunning Peach, who runs third. Zach Purton's been riding Gentleman Legacy. We don't know if he got the choice of rides, but either way, he's riding this one.
Yeah, look, I think both had good chances with the stablemate, but I do like Stunning Peach in this race. He's drawn 10, so he'll get back, but there looks like there's sufficient pace to suit in this particular race, and he's a horse who looks like he's ready to win. He'll be second up now, and he has run second up in the past, and I like the way he finished this race. 2,000 metres looks ideal.
There you go, there you have it, and he's the one to beat.
Yeah, he's on top. We'll go with him, Stunning Peach. To be the stablemate in there for second, which is Gentleman Legacy. Didn't really get the race to suit last time. They went so quick in those first 1,000 metres. Bravehearts comes out of that same race. I'm going to put Romantic Thorin. He's going to be in the right position from barrier number 2. 2-5-4-6.
And that is race number 4, a Tony Cruz Quinilla for the first leg for Paul of Triple Trio. Good race, race number 5, and this is how it does line up, with the details appearing as a Class 3 over the 1,400 metres. Gracious Express, a last start winner, better draw and goes up 3 pounds in weight for it. Lucy in the Sky improved 5 lengths between his first 2 runs. Sunny the Best, a wider draw up in trip. Invincible Ibis has his first start in Class 3. Monarch County has the blinkers off. The red hair wears pacifiers. Brett Crawford now trains 80 light years, and he's taken off the blinkers and the tongue tie and added a crossover noseband. Looking at the speed map here, Paul, Lucy leads.
Well, look, he led last time and just failed to win, so I think they'll try and lead again. Starsat has drawn better, so he may be a little bit more forward. He was in that position when he won his race. Motor likes to go forward. Lopan Spirit up to the 1,400 metres, but drawn wide. 80 light years, another one, the tricky draw. Seaward shown a little bit of speed, the debutant. Gracious Express. Invincible Ibis got back and ran a lot better last start, winning his race. And then also Sunny the Best, he might just have to go back too from barrier 13.
Straight to Nick with the trainer of Invincible Ibis. It's Mark Newnham.
Mark, you've got Invincible Ibis lining up again on the weekend on the undercard, of course, for the Bank of China meeting. Mightily impressive last time.
Yeah, look, he's always showed above average ability. Certainly appreciated getting out to the 1,400 at his last start and just being ridden quietly. I think that suits him. He's trialled well since that, and I've given him a bit of a break between runs. He had a couple of early runs and just needed to just back off him a little bit. Now he's up to Class 3. He's got to continue to improve, but he looks like he's making that improvement.
The manner of his win last time, I mean, obviously where he was drawn was less than ideal in 14, but you had obviously a top man on board to overcome that in Zach. The way he came sort of barnstorming down the outside, it was very impressive.
Yeah, but I think he's a horse that appreciates a bit of room to move. His previous couple of starts, when he's got cluttered up, he hasn't really enjoyed it. But he did have the step up in distance as well, so he was able to get more comfortable in the race, and then show, his true ability, in the straight, and he let down really well.
And the season ahead for him, I suppose. I mean, given what he's done so far, you'd be fairly confident that there's a progressive horse there.
Yeah, well, look, hopefully we end up in the 4-year-old series, the Classic Mile, if he's good enough. But he's profiling similar to My Wish at the same stage. But the difference is My Wish just continued to improve and has done ever since. But look, he can only do what he's done to date, and he's never run poorly. And the first time he went up in distance, he improved. So once we get through the weekend, there'll be an opportunity then to step him out to 1,600 and see if he's capable.
Be nice to have another My Wish, wasn't it? Well, I've got you. I spoke to your jockey, Luke Ferraris, in the week, who gave a great insight to the horse. But just from a trainer's perspective, how is he?
Yeah, as good as we can have him. Going into the weekend, his preparation's been faultless all the way through, and that hasn't changed.
And that is Mark Newnham, Paul. This is Gracious Express, winning last time from barrier 14. Smart Avenue ran at 7th. We'll focus on Gracious Express. He's had a trial after this too. He sat wide and was under a good hold. Barrier 14 down to barrier number 1. And Ricky, who's gone for the £5 claim here.
Yeah, because he's up 8 rating. Well, 8 pounds less than 5. So he's only an increase of £3 with that claim. So that'll help him from an inside draw. Look, he hasn't put two together before. That's just a little concern. Has won and then run second in his next start, so he can hold his form to a degree.
Lucy in the Sky is our next replay. Nice horse, this one. He's in front. He ended up getting beaten, but was run down by Thriving Brothers. He went down swinging, though. Barrier 11 down to barrier 7 here. Hugh Bowman on board. Extra £3 on his back too.
Yeah, look, I think he can get across and lead. He's won off 79 in the past. He's off the 77 rating. Showed he's back to a little bit of form. And he's a real fighter, Lucy in the Sky. You can see him fighting all the way with the Thriving Brothers, who had the slipstream in behind him and did come off his back. So, look, he's going to get his opportunity once again.
That's our second replay, and the third is Sunny de Best. He has had no luck with the draws. He's out in 13. Second over 1,200 metres last time. He's stepping up to the 1,400 metres, of which he's had 5 starts. It's been win or bust. 1 win, and that's it. Yeah,
look, you can see he had no luck in the straight whatsoever, lost all momentum, and the actual winner with the lightweight coming down the outside had all the momentum going, and he fought on, he picked himself back up about here, but this stage the other horse had all the momentum, and he was making a little bit of ground into him towards the end as well. So up to the 1,400 metres, it looks ideal at this stage.
That's a good report for him. It's a good field. Is he on top?
Yeah, we'll go with him. Sunny de Best to beat Invincible Ibis. Not much between the two of them, but I think Sunny de Best will be the better price of the two. Lucy in the Sky in there for third. The red here, he's on the improve as well. 5-7-2-12.
That's the preview for the 5th. That's the first leg of Sunday 6 Up. And the first of the Group 2s, as you can see, it is the running of the BOCHK Private Banking Jockey Club Sprint. And there's only really one horse that we're keen on here, and it's Kaying Rising, who's back after winning the Everest, and he'll look to carry on his winning way. Lucky Sway Ness, visor off, blinkers goes on. Helios Express, really disappointing in a trial, put down to the track conditions. Fast Network, 2-time course and distance winner. Tomodachi Kokoro, stablemate of Kaying Rising. Wunderbar, the only horse to beat Kaying Rising. Endavano goes up £6 on his last start. The speed map, Paul has Beauty Waves leading.
Yeah, look, he's a 1,000-metre specialist that loves to lead. Wunderbar can go forward. Kaying Rising from barrier 10 should be able to get across. Tomodachi Kokoro should make it easy enough for a stablemate, and he can follow him into the race, so he'll get his chance. Lucky Sway Ness there, back on the inside with Fast Network. Devano back to Helios Express and Raging Blizzard. They both get back.
David Hayes first up, talking his 2 runners, Kaying Rising and Tomodachi Kokoro.
Well, David Hayes, we're getting closer and closer to what's going to be a big day on Sunday. You've got both Kaying Rising and Tomodachi Kokoro. Let's start with the stable star, shall we? As the time draws nearer, how are the nerves? How is everything? How's the team? How's the horse, more importantly?
Look, we're all pretty relaxed because he's in great form. He bounced out of his brilliant trial, and I'm pretty confident the trip away he hasn't gone backwards, and he may have gone forwards. So I think he's getting better.
It's a scary thought, really, isn't it, when you think about it? And I mean, he's won his last 14, including an Everest. I mean, he is like that fine wine, isn't he? He is just getting better, this fellow.
Really is, and the scales support that. And just the way he's getting around, I'd say he always was a bit on his toes going through the tunnels, and still is, but he's a more rounded, seasoned horse and not as jumpy as he was.
You've had so many nice horses, David, down through the years, but when they sort of get to this status, they do really become the people's horse, don't they, really?
Yeah, he's become incredibly popular. Look, if he wins this weekend and can equal the great Silent Witness and Golden 60s record on International Day, it'll be quite special.
You're not sending just himself to the race. You've also got Tomodachi Kokoro. I talk of stories. This guy is arguably one of the most interesting and fascinating in the whole of Hong Kong.
Yes, he's won his last 3, and since we put the one-eye blinker on, he was beaten in a small margin at Happy Valley at the end of last season, and the rest is history. And, you know, on times alone, if you're an advocate of times, I think he's run the second fastest, only behind Kaying, over 1,200. And he doesn't look like he's gone backwards, and I'm pretty confident he'll run a great race, but I'd be stunned if he beat the big horse.
He wouldn't be the only one. There'll be silence at Sha Tin. We'll talk more about him shortly, Paul, but we're going back to the Everest now. And Kaying Rising, 18th of October, there were people cheering him on. There were people pulling his tail, and he went to that.
He did, and he won really nicely. And a little bit cheekily in the end too. You can see Zach was quite easy on him right on the post. About here, you could see him really ask the question, and look, he responded, and like a good horse does. And it was good to see him do this, so the world could see what he was like. He's travelled and won, and as you can see, Zach cruised to the line in there.
He scared them all off. None of them want to take him on at home. They won't be here on International Day, the Everest Field. Here is Tomodachi Kokoro winning the Premier Bowl last time. We've got Beauty Waves leading and fading. Wunderbar, Lucky With You, Devano, Helios Express 5th. Fast Network 6th and Raging Blizzard. We'll talk about Tomodachi Kokoro and what you make of Helios Express, because if you like him, don't watch that trial. But John Size has mentioned that the track conditions were against him that morning.
Yeah, exactly. We know he's a class horse on his day, and John Size will get him right for this this race. So, look, he'll go on a minor line. But Tomodachi Kokoro, I think, is the biggest danger. Like, I'm a bit like what David Hayes was saying. He'd be shocked if he beat the champion. I don't think he will, but I think he can run second. I didn't mind the run of Fast Network. You can see him flying down the outside late there as well. So a good run, but he's in career best form, and it's a fairy tale story, Tomodachi Kokoro.
It is. It couldn't continue by beating Kaying Rising, could it?
I wouldn't have thought so, no. But look, you could easily put him in for second.
And you have?
Yeah, I have. Look, Kaying Rising picks himself. He's on top. I think David Hayes can win out of the race with Tomodachi Kokoro. I like the way Fast Network finished off, and he has won a couple of times over the distance, and then Helios Express, 1863.
3:40 is post time for the first of the three Group 2s featuring Kaying Rising. Race number 7 is the Group 2 mile, and this race features at the top Red Line. Race wide last time, draws barrier number 6, regular pilot Hugh Bowman back on board. Galaxy Patch blinkers again, Cheng Cheng Glory. 1800 to 1600, he's a 6-time course and distance winner. My Wish, Group 2 winner last time, carries an extra £8. Sunlight Power held up late last time. Co-partner Prance is racing really well. Encountered won the Sasa Ladies Purse, and Pray For Mer Paul has plenty for early speed. And do you have him leading on the speed map?
I do, but co-partner Prance can easily match him. But I mean, there is this. They both like to set up really strong sectionals, but if one allows the other to go on, it'll give that horse, or give them both better chances. Red Lions like to go forward and little away. My Wish, it couldn't have fallen better from him from barrier 4, because he can sit behind the fast pace moments in time. Happy Together was a good run from him last start. Cheng Cheng Glory and Petra Theta haven't fared well at the draws, and Sunlight Power will go back, I think, from his barrier of 13.
Here's Luke Ferraris now talking My Wish.
He's moulded from a sort of a rough diamond to now he's being cut into a proper diamond now. So that's been really rewarding to see him go through the grades and improve. And I said to Mark the other day, even when he was walking around the sand yard, his whole demeanour's changed. You know, 12, 13 months ago, if you brought him here to do that before a barrier trial, you'd need 2 handlers and he'd be sweating and he'd be on his toes. And now he walks around just with the work rider on his back and doesn't turn a hair. So it's been great to see and great to be part of.
Looking ahead, of course, his next assignment will be on Jockey Club Trials Day, going to the mile. I mentioned at the top of this interview that obviously the dreams are very much still alive. I mean, your horse, you, Mark, you're in a great position, of course, 4AR. He's got another exam to sit, though. Excited?
I am. He's still got a relatively light weight in 1, 2, 3. I think the draw's going to be quite interesting. It's relatively the same field as it was in the past 2 races, so not much is changing there. I think it'll mainly come down to the draws, which will then shape the race. He's got the versatility of a very good horse, so it'll just be depending on what other runners do.
That interview done very early on Thursday morning before the draws came out, Paul, and we know since then the draws have worked out perfectly for him. Here is My Wish winning the Sha Tin trophy. Co-partner Prance, he sticks on so gamely for second. Galaxy Patch makes some late ground, but he's becoming costly.
He's out of form, Galaxy Patch, so maybe the blinkers can help him. They're trying those with that horse, but My Wish, when those barriers came out, he's just going to get that perfect run. From barrier number 4, he can just sit behind the pace, sit behind co-partner Prance like he did here and pray for Mer. Look, I don't think that co-partner Prance is totally out of it because he did all the donkey work and stayed on nicely enough. So he's a horse in pretty good form at the moment. The other one that's run I didn't mind was Happy Together. He's come out since this race and run a really good second. So I think he's a chance as well. But look, it's all to beat for My Wish, I think. I think it's his race to lose from barrier 4.
All right, so we're playing minors only, but we do need to hear from the trainer of both Redline and Beauty Eternal, John Size with Nick.
2 Group 1 winners in the mile. You've got one of my favourites, Red Lion, and Beauty Eternal as well. You confident with those two perhaps giving a shake to some of the big names in that race?
Well, they probably do their best, after January. For their seasons, they're probably not up to the good horses, as we know. But later on in the season, they probably get a bit stronger and the races fall away a little bit and then they get their chance. But they're healthy and well, they're fit and sound, and everything's working. And this is the class that they've won in. They've won in already, so we'll go, see what happens.
We will indeed. John Size there on Redline and Beauty Eternal. Here, Paul, is the Sa Ladies Purse. You mentioned what a great run it was by Happy Together. Here he is running second. Moments in Time stays on. Pray for Mer 5th. Encountered gets there. Sunlight Power held up in the straight. Cheng Cheng Glory disappointing by his standards on his first run back from Korea. Yeah, and so maybe he'll strip a bit fitter for this run, but he's drawn that awkward gate as well. Look, Happy Together, I think, is the run to take out of this. Encountered's going to go up from 115 pounds. He did come off Happy Together's back. These two fought it out, and it was a good race by both of them. But of the two, look, in this particular race, I like Encountered as a horse. He's a real likeable horse. But in this race, I do like Happy Together. Sunlight Power making up really good ground there late, but again, he's drawn awkwardly. He is. He won't mind the drop back in that trip. Sunlight Power just needs some luck. Next, we've got Light Years Charm winning race 169 over the 1,400 metres. So 1,600 metres here. David Eustace trains. Zach Purton sticks, so that's a plus. He does have barrier number 11. He's had one go in group company, finished 7th, but he has progressed well since he's been here. He has, and look, he's a horse that's sort of light on starts. He's only had 11, but he's won 5 of them. He's got plenty of ability. The draw is just a little bit sticky. That's just a little concern in this race, but look, he'll be finishing off strongly. That's what we can do as far as replays and interview goes. We've broken it down. How are you going to break it down further? Yeah, look, I'm with the favourite. I think My Wish is going to get that perfect run just in behind the pace. Happy Together in there for second. The co-partner Prance has been running some really strong races and he's in really good form, and then Light Years Charm from the back. 7, 5, 9 and 13. Race 7, number 7 for Paul. My Wish to make it back-to-back Group 2 victories. And the last of the Group 2s is race number 8, Great Clash. They're all terrific races, but this one's certainly no exception. We have Romantic Warrior v Voyage Bubble at the top of the book. Beauty Joy's best form has been over shorter. Straight Aaron, he's back with David Hayes. Visor off, blinkers go on. Ensued wears passive fires. Bundle Awards went up to 2,400 metres, and Kaying Generation hasn't been seen since June. He's had 6 trials to prepare for his resumption, Paul. We've got a leader of Kaying Generation. Yeah, Sword Point might go on with it as well because he can be a strong leader over this trip. Romantic Warrior's got that good draw. He can just sit in behind with his main rival there, I think, Voyage Bubble. We'll see a better run from Voyage Bubble up to 2,000 metres. Straight Aaron and Ensued, back to Beauty Joy, Last City Plants and Bundle Award. He's the stayer, he'll go back. The last run of full Romantic Warrior was in the Middle East, in Dubai, where he tangled with Soul Rush. He had him beaten till just the last little bit, and Soul Rush was able to get him. That's extremely unlikely to happen if it was here in Hong Kong, Paul. Do you think it could have been just the end of the trip, and in the end he was just a little bit vulnerable?
Yeah, it could well have been other way round maybe as well, you know, going left-handed instead of right. But look, he had the race won here, and Soul Rush just bombed him right on the line. So, look, he lost no admirers from the run. It was still a nice, strong run from him.
He's had some surgery and some time off since then, has Romantic Warrior. Denny's been able to get 3 trials into him. He's a recent one at Sha Tin. Anything you've seen in the trials that gives you any reason to be concerned?
No, his trials have been good, actually. And look, you can see him cruising down to the line here in this particular trial. The horse and the inside were both working a bit. That's moments in time up against the rail. And look, a nice trial from him. So he looks cherry ripe going into this. I mean, this isn't his grand final by any stretch of the imagination, but he'll be, I think he's in a position where he can still win.
He has to take on Voyage Bubble, and he's being ridden by Zach Burton.
Zach Burton, you've got a big part to play in the weekend's proceedings, of course. I wanted to ask you about your ride in the Cup, however, on Voyage Bubble. Now, this is a horse that you've had a bit of an association with down through the seasons. Cracking horse to get on, of course. I mean, we mustn't forget he's a Triple Crown winner after all.
Yeah, and I rode him early on in his career as well. I think I won his first race on him, so I go a fair way back. And you know, he's a nice horse then, but he's really developed into a lovely horse now. He's big and strong, and he looks after himself very well. He's got a very good brain. He relaxes and just waits for the signal, really. He wants to do whatever you want to do on him, so he's versatile. And he showed last season. I had my doubts as to whether he's a 1.5 mile horse, but that might have been his career best performance. So maybe we've been running at the wrong trip most of his career. But he's done a very good job, and it's good to get back on him.
You've trialled him recently, ran third. I mean, it was probably a trial in 2 halves. The first 2 had their own sort of private battle, but judging your horse on what he did, he looked good.
Well, he's always going to get run off his legs in a 1,200 metre trial on the dirt, but for him it's just a matter of letting him roll around, you know, get the work into him and move on to race day, and I thought he did a good job.
What about a crack at Romantic Warrior? Then we know obviously how good he is, but I mean, a Voyage Bubble in top form on his day surely gives him a race, doesn't he?
Well, he's given him a race before in the Gold Cup when I rode him. You know, I felt like we probably had Romantic Warrior that day at one stage, but he certainly got the better of me late, and I don't think Voyage Bubble was quite at his best that day. He had a little bit of a hiccup going into the race, so maybe that was a telling factor in the final stages of the race, but you know, at his best, you know, he's certainly going to give him another run for his money.
He's done a rare feat. His Triple Crown winner is Voyage Bubble. Here is Paul in his first up run, the Sha Tin Trophy. He had no luck. He was 3 wide and he faded to run 12th. Sword Point needs the dirt. Straight Aaron 4th. He won the race a couple of years ago. And Beauty Joy makes some ground from the back. Do we just put the pen right through this run of Voyage Bubble? Definitely.
Yeah, look, it was everything went wrong for him. He was wide. And he sort of dropped out. So this is a lot more, this is a lot better run, a lot better race for him, obviously, coming up. And this was the one that he was sort of being aimed at. So, yeah, I wouldn't worry too much. Remember, he did run over 2,400 metres at the back end of last season. I like the run of Straight Aaron. He's done a 360. Started with David Hayes, and he's ended up back here with David Hayes. So, look, I think he's going to get a chance, and he's a previous winner of the race.
Like a homing pigeon left. Found a few bit of crumbs everywhere and then back home. All right, so which one of the stars wins it?
Going to go with Romantic Warrior, just on the back of that really good trial to beat Voyage Bubble. 1 to beat 2, but you wouldn't be surprised if it's the other way around, but I think Romantic Warrior can win. Straight Aaron for third. And Bundle of Wood, he's won up to 2,400 metres. He'll be the one finishing strongly enough at the end. 1, 2, 4, 6.
That's the last of the Group 2's race number 8. It's the first leg of the last treble also, and Paul with Romantic Warrior to win it again. Race number 9 on Sunday. We go from the Group 2s to this one, which is a Class 3 over the 1,200. Public Attention makes his Hong Kong debut. 4 trials. Pakistan Legacy is first up, and he has placed first up. Skyjoy cannot draw a barrier. Stanley Express has the hood and a shadow roll going on. Sharing up in grade after winning last time. Stormy Grove steps up in trip. Wolf Cumming has the blinkers and the crossover noseband on, and Yichong Glory's had a couple of trials since his last start. A lot of first starters here, Paul.
Yeah, I thought Pakistan Legacy, who did lead in a recent trial, can be positive from his draw. Public Attention, the debutant, he's gone forward in his trials. Sky Joy, I think, can eventually get outside the leader, but as you say, he's got a bad draw. Shearing will get that perfect run from an inside draw right in behind. He's drawn barrier 1. Star Rise behind him, he can follow him into the race. Yichong Glory back against the rail. Wolf Cumming sort of went forward in a recent trial, but in his races he goes back and he's drawn wide.
We head to Nick with the rider, no, the trainer of Shearing. It's John Size.
John, you've got Shearing going to the races again on what is a decent card. Mightily impressive win last time, winning by nearly 3 lengths, and must have been very pleasing for you.
Yeah, he was impressive. He's always shown us some ability, and he's a big, strong boy that can sprint. So, you know, I think he's got a chance of winning up in class. He should be able to do it again.
You mentioned his sort of size and stature. I mean, that has been noticeable with him, and the way he's progressed well. He had trialled nicely before winning, so was it always the expectation to see a bold showing?
Yeah, he looked like he was going to go to the races and run well. His other win was quite impressive too. So when he becomes consistent, can put some runs together, he's probably going to have a good future.
They've put him up accordingly. Obviously never ideal, but £10. It's a decent enough hit, but probably worthy of the performance. He has to go to another level. Are you confident that he can?
Well, yeah, I think so. I think he's got the ability for that. It's just a matter of if the race is run to suit him and things go his way. But he's certainly showing potential, and a lot of the horses that win by a margin, they're capable of winning again. So he's in that category. I think that he'll run well again.
He formed part of a treble for the stable as well. Overall, are you happy with the way the horses are at the moment? I mean, I know traditionally sometimes for your stable, John, it's a slightly slower start, but I guess it's the end that counts. But the horses are in good form. Yeah,
well, the cooler weather's arrived, and I'm sort of hoping that'll help them improve a little bit after their breaks. The tracks have changed a little bit now. The winter grass will come on, and the track will be a little bit more forgiving. So, you know, maybe we can give them a bit of a push and see what's there.
And that is John Size. Paul, we go on to a nice horse in Sky Joy, who was first up after quite some time here. Had a good trip. He was able to get over one off. He's done a really good job. Star Rise runs on strongly. Wolf Cumming's trialled well since then, but Sky Joy just can't draw a gate.
No, look, he would have been close to the top if he'd drawn well, but fortunately he hasn't. I like the run of Star Rise, and he's only had 2 starts in this in his season, and he's drawn well. He's drawn barrier number 2. So, look, I think Star Rise could beat Sky Joy home. They're both in the numbers.
On to some trials now. A couple of the newcomers, and we start with Public Attention, the grey, who is a horse that is a Group 3 winner in Australia over 1,200 metres at Randwick. Won the Eskimo Prince, which is at Group 3 level. Also won over 1,200 metres at Caulfield. Good trial this morning, £135 to kick it off though. Yeah,
it's a tricky rating, rating 80 to come. If he does come out and win this race, then he's a horse that will, you know, you'd be excited about in the future, because it is hard to win off the rating. Cheek pieces on, blinkers off. I was just happy to watch him on debut, but he's obviously a horse with plenty of ability, being a group winner in Australia.
Our next replay is Always Ahead. He runs 3rd in this trial, has the club's colours on down on the inside. He's had 3 trials. Matthew Poon takes the ride on him from Manfred Mann, but he's come up with gate number 11.
Yeah, happy to watch him again on debut, especially from that gate. Just maybe a little bit tricky. Barrier number 11 was a really quiet trial here. You can see all the horses are being restrained, or most of them anyway, coming down to the finish, so wasn't let go at all.
That's Excellence Value winning that trial, and he's down on the inside. 2 in the club's colours. He was the one against the rail. What are your selections?
Going to go with Shearing on top. He looks really well placed in this and got that perfect draw. Star Rise to beat Sky Joy home. Look, if Pakistan Legacy can get across to the front, I think they will try and do something. He has won a trial already this season and did win the back end of last season. 8-3-5-2.
Paul with Shearing to make it back-to-back wins and 1 for 1 up in Class 3. And the last race, number 10 on Sunday, looks this way. It is a Class 3 and it's over 1400. Brilliant Express has the blinkers going on. Master of All is a 5-time course and distance winner. Lucky My Way, Shadow Roll Off, blinkers go on. Mr Bolt's now with Michael Cheng. Crossover noseband added. Riding Together, the visor off. And Stella Swift has no cheek pieces. Paul, Master of All is a noted leader. Can he find the front and get an easy lead?
Well, I don't know about easy. I think he can find the front okay, but Riding Together likes to go forward. So he may put a bit of pressure on him. A Node's gone forward in the past. Brilliant Express from barrier 1 can be positive. Forza Toro just might do a little bit hard if he goes forward. He might try and slot in. The Auspicious has been in good form. Viku back there on the inside is a debutant. Blazing Wukong, he's looking to slot in as well, along with Everyone Star. Stella Swift from the outside draw, he may have to go back.
We do start with a replay of Everyone Star placing last time over the 1400 at Sha Tin. Riding Together's just struggled in this grade so far, and Brilliant Express makes ground on the fence for 6th, and Hugh Bowman rides for John Size from barrier number 1.
Yeah, he got quite well back here from barrier number 5, did Brilliant Express. I expect him to be, see if he can be a little bit more positive in this race. Everyone Star's been in good form as well. So I think both of these are really good chances coming into the race. So both of them, I give them hopes in this race.
It's a good report. Gracious Express wins that race. You'll see him a few races earlier. Here is Master of All. He ran second here, but if he can find the front and pinch even a minor easy sectional, he's a hard horse to get past. You've had him on top in the past, and Tin Fook's on the improve too.
Yeah, look, he's been quite consistent as well. He's just drawn a bit awkwardly in barrier 8. Yeah, Master of All, look, I didn't quite get him in this race because it's a really strong race. He's right on the cusp. I was just worried what sort of pressure Riding Together did put on him. So that's what just concerned me a little bit. But he's a real honest horse, is Master of All.
He's had some wide gates before this race on Sunday. Next up, we have some lower grade races. Come a long way, this horse, the Auspicious. Won that race at huge odds, and from then, he's just been nothing but consistent. Won last time, 1600, so back in trip, and he makes his way up into Class 3.
Yeah, and prior to this, he'd won over the 14, so he's going for the hat-trick of wins. This horse back to the 1400 metres, which he can win at, because we did see that. Look, he's just climbing the ratings now, and how high is his ceiling? That's the question. Look, I'm not so sure he can win this. I think this is a lot tougher, and he just managed to win that race.
He did, and the one below him in the book, Blazing Wukong, is one we need to see also. He was a horse that did win on debut. He had 3 starts since. He's placed his last 2. 2 for 2 placings, course and distance. And what about him in Class 3?
Yeah, I don't mind him down the bottom here. He's got the light weight as well, 117 pounds. The draw's a little bit tricky, barrier number 11. But if he can get the cover that we thought, that we saw on the map there, then that'll give him his chance once again. Another horse who's consistent and looks like he can win at the bottom here of this class. So, look, I'll include him, but I have got a couple to beat him.
And we've got one more to have a look at. It's been a horse you've been with time and time again. Lucky My Way. He's had 2 trials since we last saw him. 1200 metres, shaken up. A little bit too short this trial, and are you sticking solid?
I am, look, with the blinkers on for the first time. You can see he's 3 lengths last year coming into this trial. He was really asked to blow the cobwebs out in the trial. You can see him, the rider, really sort of getting into him to make some ground, and then stopped it there, and he just sort of was a little bit hands and heels after that. And I like the way he's making up ground. You've got to imagine another 200 metres. We've seen him do this in the past. He should be a good price in this field, so we'll make him the value player of the meeting.
There you go, from the trial replay to the top of the selections.
Yeah, we'll make him Lucky My Way, the value play. So he's on top. Brilliant Express should get that good run from barrier 1. Blazing Wukong with the lightweight, and Everyone Star. 5, 1, 14 and 3.
And that is Bank of China race day on Sunday at Sha Tin. 10 races. Reminder, the first, an earlier start time of 12:45.